finally here. The Bauer KONEKT Skate. I think I'm calling this the V2. This is the second round of the Bauer KONEKT Skate. Still the same skate as they launched in 2022, but perhaps with the buckle issue that maybe some people have been mentioning on forums and such, hopefully fixed. So this is the Bauer KONEKT Goalie Skate, Senior Pro Goalie Skate for 2023. Not the first edition that came out, but the second one. And I just got these on the ice this morning, and I have so many thoughts about them. All mainly positive. So just for comparison's sake, you can go back and check the videos on my channel. I currently use this Bauer Pro Senior Level Goal Skate that I've had for over a year. And it's been fantastic. It's definitely the lightest weight skate I've ever owned. They are, for the most part, comfortable. I've had issues right here with my big toe. And if you feel the inside of this skate, it's two pieces that are sewn together. So if your toe's kind of here and it rubs when you're down in butterfly, my big toes have just been wrecked by this skate. But it's an amazing skate. I can get to where I need to be in these skates. I can move how I want to in these skates. They are awesome skates. And again, no one's foot's the same. So an issue for me may not be an issue for you. So I would highly recommend these. But obviously I wanted to try something new. So the local shop got these bad boys in. They weren't supposed to come until May, but we're here in mid-April. And I got them on the ice for the first time this morning. Man, so many thoughts. I did a lot of research in what people were saying late 2022 about these skates, what they liked, what they didn't like. I think the main thing is a lot of people said, this is going to be such a game-changing skate, and it's a completely different, it's hard to describe the feel, yada, yada, yada. And I will say yes, they definitely are different, not to the extent my head wanted to take them, which is a good thing. In my head, I thought, okay, these are going to be so different. I'm going to be like, what the heck? They are not that different. They are different, yes, but not to an extreme that your head may think. They are so easy, and I cannot, state this enough, to get on and off and comfortable. I know a lot of people have been reporting they've had foot pain. Do not try these skates before you bake them. They are so uncomfortable before the bake when you're at the shop. Do not judge these skates on that. Everything's really heat moldable, so they put these skates in the oven. They take out this liner, you put your foot in them, and once you have your foot in there for about 4 minutes, these things feel like little mittens on your feet. So it's kind of like a customized option at your local retailer without having to get your foot scanned, which is kind of nice. So after they got molded, they fit really comfortable. My biggest concern when I first tried them on was the ankle support. I did tighten this, and this does, like people have said, it does take some playing around with. Like, you do have to play around with this on how tight this thing needs to be. At first, I did try to get it as tight as possible. I think the biggest thing I noticed from a laced skate was just support on the ankle seemed, although it seemed looser, I knew my ankle wasn't going anywhere. But I definitely would crank down on the tightness on these things. Other first impressions on these bad boys. They're just kind of funky at first. When you come from a lace skate, they in your head feel bulky, but then when you get on the ice, they don't feel bulky at all. You don't even notice the weight of these things. They are heavier than my Bauer Pro skates here, laced skate comparison. They are heavier. This is lighter. This is heavier. But when you're on the ice, you really don't notice it at all. So I would really ignore the weight of these skates in store when you're just kind of trying them for the first time. The main thing obviously on these skates is just, the flex that you can get on them, right? And that's the main marketing point on these things, is not only are they laceless, but you can, put your ankle and move and relieve all this tension on your hips and stuff. Definitely RVH and stuff was really easy to drop into. Wasn't like insanely different than a lace skate, but definitely easier on my hips and such. I definitely really liked that, really enjoyed that. At the same time, the thing that bugged me about these is because there's no lace on here, and this could be me just needing to tighten up this lower buckle. I thought I had it fairly tight, but maybe not. You know, the hinge flex where this boot moves with your ankle, you definitely have to be very careful to not, you know, over lose your balance, because it's very, I won't say it's very easy, but it's possible to kind of lose your balance in these things. You can drop down super low in them, but at the same time too, I noticed it's very easy to rock forward even though your skate's on the ice, which was kind of annoying. The boot felt really, really comfortable on the ice. I didn't have that issue on the inside of the toe because this is all one piece, so that was awesome for me. You know, I put some old steel on them. They felt great on the ice. They, you know, just sliding on the ice in these things was very buttery, very smooth, very easy. You know, I read, you know, there are some NHLers wearing these things. There are some NHLers, you know, still rocking these. Craig Anderson, although he just retired, he was rocking these Bauer Pros. Askarov from Nashville, I believe, is rocking the Pros. So not all Bauer guys are wearing these skates, but Vasilevsky's wearing these skates. Charlie Lindgren's wearing these skates. Lawrence Brossois is wearing these skates. Darcy Kemper, I think, is wearing these skates. So there are a lot of NHLers wearing these skates, and I can see why. Like, they're really comfortable. They're really easy to get on. I can see why some people went back to a laced skate. So Jake Ottinger used to wear these skates, and he's now in a true two-piece with a Vertex edge holder. And I read somewhere that he kind of tweaked his ankle in these skates, and I totally get it. Like, your ankle, there's a lot of movement for your ankle in these skates. Not to say there isn't in a laced skate, but it doesn't feel as supported here. But it doesn't also feel like it's going to go anywhere. Like, you have room to sort of, it's like a cuddly sock. You got room to sort of flex it around, but the sock's not going to come off. If that makes sense, it's a horrible analogy. These are badass skates. They look cool. You get a lot of compliments. They skate well. You know, again, I was on the ice only for 45 minutes. The only thing I would say is just my concern on the hinge flex. It is definitely game changing, but there are some negativities that I could find in it, like dropping too low in your stance, or losing your balance fairly easily, or issues with just ankle stability. You know, if you're coming from like a true skates, I believe the ones that I had were just a lot tighter in that area. I do prefer the Bauer fit. So yeah, I'm semi-torn on these skates. They are awesome. There's a lot of benefits, a lot of positives. They are very comfortable. Did not experience the issues that some people were saying about them being uncomfortable after they were baked. Bake them, skate around for about 20 minutes, and your foot will definitely feel really good in these things. They're very easy to get on and off, which is just saves so much time. They're a little bulky. You know, you've got all this equipment here. It's a little bulky, takes up a little extra room in the bag. I didn't have any issues with my Velcro straps, Velcro toe ties from my True Pads putting on here whatsoever. They stayed here. I know some guys have put a little hack where they put laces to go through to make sure they don't drop and slide off. Didn't have that issue at all. There were just times where I wanted to kind of rotate my body in them, and it was a little hard for me to do it. I'm sure after like 5 or 10 skates I would have it figured out pretty easy. I think my dream skate maybe is the fit and feel of this skate, but in a laced immersion, which sounds odd, but this thing was really, really comfortable. I really like this liner idea. I like the heat moldable process. I just don't know if I'm sold on the, you know, this hinge flex and the overbending. It was helpful at times to get really low to the puck if you're super low and deep in your stance. But at the same time, too, I also felt like I'm to the point where I'm almost losing my balance. And there were some ankle things I'd like the ability to tighten the ankle more. And even though I do have a strap up here, There's still, you know, with laces, you can go eyelet by eyelet and make it tight, 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 or loose depending on the area. So, you know, the areas you can get really specific about how tight or how loose you want something. Whereas on here, you only have these two areas that you can decide how tight or loose you want something. And I would say too, even tightening these things can be a little bit of a challenge. You know, when you get this thing on and you push this piece, sometimes this piece doesn't want to go, so you got to loosen this thing, you know, at least get it on one, get it over, then you can tighten it that way. Not the end of the world. I'd say overall, this is an awesome skate, but I totally get why people say it's not for everyone. There are some things that I'm sure if you skated in these maybe 5 or 10 times, you'd get really comfortable with. They're not drastically different than a laced skate, in my opinion, but again, I've only worn these once. But there are some things I can see some people loving about this. I can see some things that people would be like, I think I prefer what a lace does. So I think there, in the near future, will end up being some sort of hybrid version of this with maybe some laces and, you know, the Konekt ski boot portion where it would solve some of that tightening. And I'd say the hinge flex, it's nice. I don't know if it's for me. I definitely see some benefits of it, but my issue with it was like it hinged so much I almost lost my balance in it. When you're down in butterfly and pushing and sliding, it's really good. Maybe the best skate I've ever tried for that. So overall, this is a badass skate. I definitely say try it, buy it. It's worth it for sure. Maybe a little bit of an adjustment period, but I think overall I will end up loving these things. But I think there are some things in a lace skate that I do prefer. So anyway, if you have any comments, questions, let me know in the comments section below, and I'll talk to you soon.